Hi, Day. Okay, I'll try not to be frustrated about this. Sometimes you just miss basic things that exactly what I said. Remember when I said the thing about, oh, are we giving this socialist economy to the military because they deserve one and we're giving them this glorious benefit? No, I said it was for pragmatic reasons. Then in your video, you point out, no, it's for pragmatic. So that's what I already said. Now you are portraying my plan with this sub economy as the same as a complete economy because of size, the size, and the size. Okay. Now there are things that are distinct, okay, between a planned economy and mine. For example, you know, my idea involves markets. The stuff is still coming from the market. The cost of ink and the cost of bread and the wheat. This dynamic market, larger market, is used to determine the production costs, the actual production costs. But anyway, what's distinct between my idea, which is of great scale, but not of greater scale than the military or than the post office or a lot of other government works is, for one, separate from size. Well, size wise, obviously, it's smaller. It just involves the retired people, which is a fraction of the total populace. But the fundamental distinctions are one, open versus closed. You know, a truly planned economy with no markets, that's a closed thing. If you're trying to control all of the closed thing, it's like having a fire in a container closed versus open out in the open. Okay, my system, this sub system for retired people, is open. It's done in this environment that's open, so it is trading energy, if you will, with the economy that it's a part of. So the fact that it's a sub economy means, well, we have to talk about what is a sub economy of. What's the super economy? And in that super economy, we still have an open, dynamic, capitalist, entrepreneurial, privately produced thing. And these pens are produced by private organizations. Most of the goods that the government uses, it contracts out. It might give a specification in some cases, especially for large purchases. But it goes to the private economy to produce those things. And that's a crucial difference because there's an interface between this fixed price economy and the super economy. There's more controlling, right? More controlling of the market prices, even these fixed prices. Okay. So there's a market influence. Now, I'm not going to say again or defending, I already said believe in markets. I believe markets are a tool. And you said because they're useful in certain areas. Yes, they're useful in certain areas. Now, the main reason you cannot call pensioner commissary used to balance out so that we have some control on that side of the equation as well as how much of a pension we give them. Uh, a complete economy in itself that should be viewed as a complete closed system is the fact that it doesn't have production, right? These are retirees, you know. The overall economy is about how people can produce and consume. And in this pension system, they're just consuming. They've already produced. Okay, there's some production there, philosophically, that we're rewarded. It's like this person lived a productive life. We want them to be able to have a comfortable retirement. You know, but they are not producing. You see, if this was sub economy really looked more like a planned economy, it would be where the old people had to make all of their own stuff. They had to make these things in the commissary, and then they were going to be paid an amount and going to be charged an amount for the finished products. But we're not doing that. These people, by definition, are not producing in that sense. Okay? So those are distinctions between this idea and a complete economy. Now, would you call it a sub-economy? I don't know. I would be willing to call it that loosely. But it obviously is missing parts. If the private economy fails in this situation, then this pension system fails because it relies on there being a way to produce the goods that go into the commissary. Is relying on the fact that there is this external market. And you say, but why not take it to the next level? Well, if I were to plan our whole economy, it would have markets in it. It would just have more regulation and be the same kind of system we have now. You know, like planning the health care industry. I like multi-payer. I think there should be a public option to set a baseline for the private options to best, and I think they would best. Why? Because I believe in the innovation. I believe in the reward of personal risk and reward. That's a good motivator, that it works well with creativity. It works well with the youthful enthusiasm to invent new ways to be efficient, find cheaper raw materials for whatever the end result is going to be. So even if I was planning economy, it wouldn't be like Stalin's planned economy, because it would be just like our economy, except for basically certain kinds of regulations would be different, right? This, on the other hand, is a section discussing how we deal with people that are no longer productive, okay, in the traditional sense. They're no longer making shoes or whatever, okay. What do we do with them? Well, this master economy, its plan involves people producing and being rewarded for the production and it working out that way. Okay, but these people don't produce anymore. All right. Now, what I believe markets are good at is giving individuals basically a vote. You know, it's not a vote on a piece of paper that says, I intentionally think it should be this way. But it's a vote through their actions and ability, you know, to take part in the system. Individual choices aggregate in the market. And I believe in individual rights. I believe in individualism. I believe we're trying to create a situation where individuals can behave as individuals. So I like markets for that. All right. And indeed, if you were looking more closely, if you didn't just pigeonhole this idea, I think you would be able to see that the fact that there is a commissary still is a market. It's a very controlled market with the fixed prices. You say, oh, but see, the price is not the only thing that markets help fix. Also, a selection of goods, right? So if you have this commissary and you see what the retirees are buying there, then they will change not the price, okay, but they will change what is purchased. You know, this issue of, well, what if some bureaucrat decides to get 1,000 loaves of bread? Well, no, there's a market there. The retirees, if they're buying 1,000 loaves of bread, then that's what you get for them, okay? But if they're not, you don't. If they're buying 10 loaves of bread and, you know, 1 million bottles of shaving cream, then that's how you stock it. So there is a market force there, but it's very controlled because you fixed the price part. Okay. Now the other thing is price fixing. Yeah, there are definitely some problems doing this, especially starting it out. But there are ways to get out of the situation where it's just some bureaucrat going, well, I think that bread should cost this much. And I said what it is. You have given people a pension of $800 a month, then you go back to when that was a decent middle class wage and use those prices, right? Now there are other ways, you know, to try to do this, and they are dangerous. You know, you can bring in economists and try to study. You know, there's economists right now. You know, there's people that study this whole phenomena. It comes up. It's sort of flashy headline, but then there's scientific studies, and it's actually also happened too. You know, pensioners eating